There's only one question you need to ask yourself the next time you're on the Cape. Are you Team Dog?
Gourmet hot dogs. How can you go wrong with that?
Look at it. It looks good and it tastes good.
Or are you Team Hog?
I don't know where he learned how to cook barbecue, but he learned it in the right place.
It's like my grandmother cooked it.
It's all about the smoking and the tender love that Mike gives to it.
It's something you have to try.
And if you just can't decide, you can get a little of both at Doggz and Hoggz. Located in this small, unassuming spot on Route 28 in Falmouth, Doggz and Hoggz is a super casual spot serving up gourmet hot dogs alongside great barbecue and house-made stuffed quahogs, which explains the name, according to owner and pitmaster Mike Bullard.
The Doggz part is a funny name for a variety of different dogs, different styles, different toppings. The Hoggz part covers pork and quahogs.
So you can have a little surf and turf in a casual, laid-back setting with counter service, a casual vibe, and a great aroma.
9 times out of 10, people will walk in the door and they'll smell what's going on. They'll smell either smoke or if we just made something.
You can smell it as you go by. It just makes you want to pull right in.
If you are driving by, you'll usually find Mike out front tending to the slow-smoked barbecue, which is just part of the Hoggz side of the menu.
We have the Lang Smoker out of Georgia. This is the hot box. This is where the heat comes from. Pop a log in there. Cooking with a smoker, what it does, it creates a barrier of flavor around the meats. Some people can taste the apple because it's a sweeter wood. We also have a 3-layer rub that we use, and we let it rest overnight, and then we put it on the smoker the next day. But those flavors all together just make for such an unbelievable experience in our barbecue.
So you can always expect the queue to be on point, especially the brisket.
Their brisket is the best on this side of the Mississippi, hands down.
The butt end of the brisket is where you get a lot more flavor because it's fattier and the fat makes the flavor. You have to smoke it longer, but the fatness inside of it gets all the meat, all juicy, and the flavor comes out. Even though it looks like it's well done, the juices pour right off of it.
You can smell it, taste it, and one of the great things about the brisket up here.
Other Hoggz standouts include the pulled pork sandwich served on a Portuguese roll.
You get a nice mound of pulled pork, and then it's just basically topped with our sauce, and that's it. It's just pulled pork, sauce, the Portuguese bread, and that's our #1 sandwich.
But there are 2 stages to the Hoggz side of the Doggz and Hoggz menu.
The other side of the Hoggz part is our stuffed quahogs. Quahogs should taste like a quahog. It should taste like the clam. It should taste like what it came from. And there's really only 5, maybe 6 ingredients in our quahogs. We have a plain quahog and we have a linguiça quahog. We also serve that on our surf and turf, which you would get a quahog and 2 all-American dogs.
And that brings us to the dog side of the menu, where they offer over a dozen varieties using some of the best wieners around.
We use a Dietz & Watson product. When you bite into one of these dogs, you taste flavor. It just kind of like pops out. There's a little bit of snap to it, but not a whole lot because of the way we do them on the grill, but it just, the flavor profile just comes out right away. These dogs here have had the most flavor of any other dogs that we've tried, and we haven't changed.
So there's this take on a Chicago dog topped with tomato, onion, relish, and celery salt, and the Texas dog loaded up with house-made chili and cheese.
This is probably the best chili and cheese dog you'd ever have. It's like having chili on filet mignon.
For a little hog on your dog, order the pork and dog, piled up with that slow-smoked pulled pork.
If you're indecisive on having a dog or the pulled pork, you can get the dog and the pork all in one on the pork and dog.
But since you're in Falmouth, a Cape Cod dog is a must, topped with house-made cranberry apple relish.
And when you put the saltiness of the hot dog and the sweetness of the Cape Cod relish with the craisins and the apples, it just makes for a whole different experience.
So whether you play for Team Dog or are a proud member of Team Hog, you most definitely will leave a winner when you eat at Doggz and Hoggz.